Can you believe we're 20% through the season already? Mind you, that's just like being at the base camp of Everest. There is a whole lot more Pro D2 mountain to climb. First block, though, of 6 games is over, so let's wrap up round 6, starting with 2 heavyweights, 2 pre-season favourites, Grenoble and Provence. Neither have been hitting their straps to this point. Grenoble also dealing with a suspended head coach and players threatening to strike. And the game, well, it went ahead firstly, and Provence got to work at maul time with giant Georgian Tornika Yalagonya at the bottom of the pile. Grenoble trying to hit back, and there was a bit of bagarre. There you go. That's what you come to expect in Pro D2. And it was all caused by a high shot from Andres Zafra, the Colombian. Who, for his trouble, received an orange card. And from the very next play, Grenoble, well, they held the ball in the maul. Not able to go anywhere. But with Provence players tied in, it was another Georgian that was going to be going over the line. Georgi Kvezaladze getting on the end of a nudge and showing strength to go all the way. Big moment on the stroke of half-time when the referee had to bury his head in. Grenoble have advantage. Yeah, the referee borrowing in there to confirm a second Grenoble try. And it was a hat-trick of tries for Georgians, this one from Georgi Javakia. It was tight and it was tense, where small moments really mattered in this game. And a crucial second-half moment, which also led to a little bit more bagarre. They love the handbags in Pro D2. I'm here for it. And this was a flare-up between the 2 number 8s. Richard Hardwick taking Tamana Harrison beyond the horizontal. Dangerous play, which, well, he might feel slightly lucky to have got away with the orange card for that one. With 1 man down, there was a hole appearing. And the first try from Provence that wasn't from a Georgian. Replacement hooker Latarad with the try there. Roman Triu, so often the hero, missed the chance to win another game for the home side, though. An excellent win on the road for Provence, 23-24. That was a proper match in Pro D2. Our live game in round 6 was Dax against Van. And it was Pierre Bouderon, yes, brother of La Rochelle's Paul, who cut through a hole for Van and opened up a 10-0 lead early. There were injuries in the Dax side. That led to Nasira, the young Fijian, tank of a player coming on, and he added huge go forward, busting over for a try. And scores were level when former Leicester prop Nefi Leah Tiganga was one of the giant bodies in amongst that maul, which went over. This was a game that was going down to the wire. Hugo Cerizia even had a chance to cause an unexpected win, hitting the post, and Van holding on. Heavy favourites coming into this game. A huge showing from Dax. Not quite enough to get what would have been a famous victory. It finished 15 points to 16. Relief for Van. So high-flying Colomiers hosted Agen at the Stade Michel Bondechu. And Agen kept Colomiers to 6 points in the opening quarter, but the collisions started going the home side's way. First through Jérôme Bouchou, and then the big number 8, Caleb Timu. Another game, another card. High shot from Phil Kite, reviewed by the referee and officials. And another carte orange. Jules Danglot, he scooped up an error, and even when they were a man down, raced in. And this one really, in terms of a result, wrapped up the victory. Well, it wrapped up a dominant first half. Agen did get what amounted to a consolation try early in the second before Colomiers gave another moment which highlighted their fluent attack. Little crossfield dink, and it was Nicolas Martins, the Portuguese international, who was on the end to wrap up a solid result for Colomiers. Top of the table. To Biarritz Olympique, who hosted Aurillac. It's 2 pens apiece in the first half. The final play of the period, though. The Biarritz forwards trying to batter their way over the line, and in the end, it was scrum half Jan Lesgaard who was organising his forwards. We were going through the phases. It was the scrum half himself that said, "Do you know what, guys? I've got this." Tongan number 8, Viliami Taulani, just lurking. And he managed to force the ball to the deck. Left wing Dashi Papanashvili scored the rest of Aurillac's points, including this long-range penalty, which wrapped up their win. Silence at Stade Aguilera. And a win on the road for Aurillac. Brive versus Oyonnax. Oyonnax, with their recruitment over the summer, were expected to be mixing it with some of the title favourites like Brive, and they got a dream start. Karim Kadiri breaking clear down the left. Inside ball to fly half Justin Borot, who still had a lot to do but got on the end of his own chip to finish a belter of a try. Both left wingers had strong games, and it was Brive's Erwan Dridi who hit back on 23 minutes, getting on the end of Stuart Olding's pass. And again, quick passing. The long miss pass straight to Dridi closed the scores once more in the second half. Oyonnax did so much so well, but the dam eventually burst. After absorbing all that pressure, Brive were able to get around their defences, this time on the right-hand side with Tui Vuaka. And then Brive turned to the maul. And Oyonnax's tired pack weren't able to prevent Anthony Coletta scoring the try. Hooker Lucas da Silva is usually on the end of those driving mauls, but he scored a try in open play, wrapping up a dominant, in the end, win for Brive, 33-18. Valence Roman against Mont de Marsan. Now, Valence was spanked away at Oyonnax last week. Much handier at home, and the tone was set on 8 minutes when Lucas Murray wanged the ball to left wing Thomas Rosière. And check out this try. Robic breaking off the base of the scrum. Moses Dawai ghosting into the backfield. The ball eventually reaching left wing Pierre Saïs for a superb breakaway try for Mont de Marsan. And it was another midfield bust from the fullback, who linked with scrum half Milo Harris, running a great support line to put Mont de Marsan ahead. And it was deja vu with the last play of the first half. Valence's defences all over the place. Doglegs being taken advantage of. And Milo Harris on the shoulder, on the inside shoulder again for his second. It was a different Valence Roman that came out in the second half. A 10-man maul. Maybe even more than 10, maybe 12-man maul. But in the middle of that melee, Dorian Marco Peña, the hooker, got his side back within striking distance. And an error from Mondamar Sand, 5 metres from their own line, saw the number 8 Suad capitalising and putting the game to bed eventually. 35-21. Another home win for Valence. And under the lights in Béziers, Pro D2 new boys Carcassonne came and mixed it, or tried to at least. Béziers came out flying, building up a 2-score lead inside the first quarter. Béziers have shown a tendency to go to sleep in periods in matches, and Carcassonne kept in touch until 67 minutes when one missed tackle on number 8 Otanuku Bauta let Béziers in all too easily, an error that was compounded by poor breakdown control, but brilliant vision by Samuel Marquez, spotting the space in the backfield. Perfectly weighted kick, and Paul Reu on the end of it for a fantastic breakaway try. A decisive moment in the win for Béziers. And finally to Nevers, who hosted Angoulême. It had been back-to-back defeats for Angoulême in Pro D2. They didn't want it to slide to 3. But Nevers managed to splinter their defences with a show of power. On 12 minutes, hooker Efi Maafu scoring. Teams in Pro D2 are among the best at mauling, and it was a weapon which Nevers went to again and again. Same setup on 34 minutes, same power, same patience, and ultimately the same outcome, even the same scorer too, a brace for Maafu. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Soyou Angoulême just had no answer. Penalty advantage already, no way of stopping it. And number 8, Stephen David, delighted with the try. Angoulême's forwards are not going to enjoy the video review of this game. They just got beasted. Even trying to lie on the floor to stop them all, but they could do absolutely nothing about Nevers. Replacement hooker Petriashvili with a try for a really impressive win. Yeah, 3 on the bounce for Angoulême, who are down near the foot of the table. And there are the results, probably the most significant. That win away from Provence against Grenoble. There's issues going on in the Alps. At the bottom of the table, Dax, despite a spirited performance, still at the foot of the table. And Soyou Angoulême, who got into the playoffs last year, really struggling down towards the bottom of the table. Carcassonne overachieving at this stage. Colomiers, though, at the top of the table, are the story of Pro D2 in the opening block of games, where the teams can now take a breather. It looks like Van and Brive are positioning themselves nicely behind the early league leaders, and there'll be some big games to come when the rugby resumes in round 7. We've got a weekend off this week. Time to take breath. Subscribe to the channel and check out some of the other stuff we're doing.